Greetings, friends and esteemed adventurers. Welcome back to part 2 of our Gargoyle Monk of Kazlal. Last episode, we got our god and took care of the first 10 levels of the dungeon. So let's go ahead and dip our toes into D11. Again, I am not going to really be too worried about fully clearing D11. I'm just in here for possibly a little bit of extra experience if we can get it. And we'll jump back into lair if we get in over our heads. So, something I noticed last game, or between that last recording and this recording, is that Kaz gives us reflect missiles. So we went ahead and took off our reflect missile scarf, because we don't need that anymore. We also get +2 AC from our cloak, which is quite nice. The evocable invis, while quite useful, does have a little bit of a drawback since we're Kazlal. If we're standing in our clouds, or standing in a cloud, enemies can still see us even if we're invisible. So that's not something that's quite that amazing. So I'm not going to train Evo just yet. I'm going to train some of our more important stuff for now. But that's something that I will probably end up doing is trying to get enough evocations to have invisibility castable. Because that could really help in some of the layer branches, etc. So looks like we have a few too many items. We'll go ahead and drop our scarf of repulsion, and then we can drop some of these wands. We don't need random effects. Don't need a polymorph. We don't need 3 ice blasts. So we'll go ahead and drop all those. Got a centaur. We'll let him come to us. Two-headed ogre, same deal. We will kind of let him come to us and hopefully walk through the clouds and take a little bit of damage. Speaking of, we can use our wands to kind of soften him up a little bit, if possible. Let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and ice blast him one more time. That didn't do a whole lot, but if that was one less hit that we had to take, then I think it was worth it. Especially with Ice Blast, I just, there's not really a specific scenario where I want to hold out and use that. Okay, another two-headed ogre. No prob. We do get an extra 7 AC when we deal damage, so that feels pretty good to me. And yet another two-headed ogre. We're just getting all the two-headed ogres. So that was a great mace. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up just because I want to compare it to my mace or my flail of Holy Wrath. So this is gonna be doing 15 right now. That'll be doing 17. How's our? Oh, the dire flail is about to hit min delay, and it's 0.6. So it's gonna be faster. It's got protection. I'm gonna go ahead and keep our dire flail for now. We may switch to a great mace if we find one with a good brand later. But like I said, I think in the end we're going to end up using a one-hander with that shield, just for the extra defense. So let's go ahead. Oh wow, we have 6 identifies. Yeah, let's go ahead and use really all of those. Berserk, sweet. I think that's quite useful. Let's do a couple scrolls. Random uselessness. Blink, there's one that I was hoping for. Amnesia, don't need. And silence, that's excellent. We'll go ahead and drop noise and random uselessness. Okay, so we've got quite a bit in here. We also have disaster area, which is now castable. This is probably one of the strongest spells I know of. We could also summon some elementals. We could probably kill all this realistically, but what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and use our Wand of Clouds. And we got freezing. Okay, so that's going to slow everything down. And now if I wanted to, I could use Elemental Force and turn those all into elementals, but I don't think I need to do that. I think they're basically just going to have to walk through the clouds to get to us. And we can just sit here and kill everything. And it's just no problem. And then we get all this sweet gear. My brother just sent me something on Skype. I'll check that later. And we are adequately rewarded, at least hopefully. Hopefully that's a delicious plate mail. So let's try that on. Okay, so +6, that's quite nice. Our corrosion, decent. Int +2, doesn't matter. C and Viz, pretty nice. So overall, I'm quite happy with that. It could be a little bit better. As you can see, our cold and fire resists are still 0, but I think that was pretty cool. And I definitely think that, I'm glad we did that before we went to lair. That extra AC, I think, is going to make me feel a little bit better about going into lair. So we've got our invocations to 10 now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and I'm going to focus armor. As soon as maces and flails hits 14, I will probably turn invocations back on. I may go evocations as well. I haven't really decided yet, but we're going to find out. So let's go to lair. Alright, so we've got a whole bunch of yaks. There's our first Hydra. So let's go ahead. Yeah, this is perfect. We'll take the Hydra as well as the yaks back up into D9. So this is a little upsetting, but we are using a flail. It's a 6-headed Hydra. We have 38 AC. We now have 45 AC, so I think we'll just be able to take him. 45 AC, too strong. Go ahead and rest back up and head back down. So this is kind of where Kaz, can really get in your way. He makes a lot of noise, and that's where all this stuff is coming from. So it makes rune vaults. You have to be really patient. And treasure vaults, etc. Not treasure vaults, but treasure rooms. But yeah, as you can see, the damage is just unreal. So this is going well right now. And are we getting? We have 9 shield right now. Are we getting that from Kaz? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that's coming from. But I can't think of anywhere else it would come from, so it's got to be Kaz. And do we have flight yet? No, we don't. And how's our maces and flails doing? Just about 14. We'll just tab through all the nonsense. We've got our clouds going quite nicely. That's layer 1. Moving on to layer 2. We'll let this stuff come to us. No sense tab attack, air tabbing through all this stuff. We can just let it come to us. It's all melee, so it's going to take extra turns, and it's going to have to walk through our clouds. And that disaster area spell is just insane. So that's definitely something we'll have in our arsenal. Okay, so we've got another ring to try. We have some decent rings at this point. So let's go ahead and replace our ring of strength. Let's see what we get. A ring of stealth. Okay, that obviously is not going to be helpful at all because Kaz basically makes it so we can't stealth. So. And actually, I think at this point, we have quite a bit of strength. Let's go ahead and put on this ring of dex. Does that give, how much EV does that give us? None. Okay, so that doesn't really help us, but actually, yeah, that's not doing anything for us. We'll go ahead and put on strength instead. Get a little extra damage. Stuff that's dead can't hurt you. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but stuff that's dead can't hurt you. Trademarked Dazzlier. Okay, and we've got some more scrolls to read. Okay, there's our immolate. Let's go ahead and check out a couple potions. So we've got degeneration. That doesn't help us at all. We'll go ahead and just drop that. And do we have gloves on? We don't. Okay, so we found some gloves. Nice. So those do nothing for us, but that's okay. A buckler. Nah, I'm not going to pick that up. Alright, so we've got a couple Oclobs. We could basically disaster area and kill all of them, I think. We also got our last pip of piety. But we do have a ring of resist corrosion. So that should allow us to walk in there. Our clouds are going to do a fair amount of damage to them. So I think if we do that, I think if we put on the ring, then we should be able to just walk in. We can always leave. Alright, so one is dead, and we'll go ahead and pop out now. Okay, so we are taking a fair amount of damage. Let's go ahead and upheave these two. I just want the ring. That's all I want. You guys can keep the gold to yourselves. Okay, we are good. So we'll go ahead and put on this ring. I took a little more damage in there than I expected to, but that's okay. Let's see what this ring is going to do for us. Wizardry, Arpoise, Aralek, and minus magic. That does nothing for us. We have Aralek and Arpoise. That doesn't make Blink really any more castable. And we lose magic resist. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop that. I don't think we're going to see that have any use. So let's go ahead and put back on our Ring of Strength. And what amulet did we have? Reflection. Okay. Okay, layer 2 is basically complete. We can come back for that gold by the Oclobs if we need it. We're near starving, so let's go ahead and eat some fruit. And we'll move on to layer 3. Okay, so we reflected the net back at Harold. I don't think Harold's going to be any problem for this character. And I was pretty much right. Rupert, on the other hand, is a huge problem. He is going to berserk, and he's going to hit us extremely hard. He can also paralyze and confuse. So we are going to go ahead and use Disaster Area and just try to kill... Okay, so that did nothing to Rupert. That sucks. And we lost a Pip of Piety. We can summon some elementals, or we can upheave him. Let's see. That did almost nothing. Okay. So let's go ahead and Wand of Acid. Okay, so we've corroded him. That makes me feel a lot better. Let's go ahead and summon some elementals to get some bodies in front of him. And let's pick up this net, because the elementals just killed him. Cool. I was gonna say the net we could use to hopefully take him out of berserk, but we didn't need to. The elementals took care of him. Okay, our maces and flails is where we want it. Let's go ahead and reverse fighting and armor because I'd like a little bit more health. And we'll go ahead and turn on evocations for now. We're gonna get a lot of experience because we're a decent way into the game. So that should train up pretty quick and get invisible, at least semi-castable. So we'll go ahead and do that. We've got a ring to try, so we'll go ahead and do that. +4 of evasion. Okay, I'm going to use that instead of strength. Not amazing by any stretch, but not bad. Certainly usable. Any bit of defense I think is good. Like I said, Kaz is very offensive. He does have some defense. Obviously, he's giving us repel missiles, but generally speaking, I'd rather focus myself a little bit more on defense and let Kaz take care of offense. Don't have room, and again I think, do we have any wands we can drop? Yeah, we'll go ahead and drop polymorph, and we do have a scroll of identify. I think I'm going to identify the wand of acid, because that I think is going to be a useful one. Do we have recharging? We don't, at least not identified yet. So okay, layer 3 is done. We'll probably go ahead and recharge clouds once we do get recharging. Actually, I'm sorry, acid. We've got our own clouds. That's just enough nonsense that I'm going to bring the Hellhound up. Don't really see much reason not to. We'll pop back down and pop back up. I would hate to get petrified in the middle of 2 wyverns. And now we're good. Oh, actually, let's go back up again. And we'll bring the hippogriffs up. Okay. Still a little bit of nonsense, so we're just going to keep stair dancing things. No need to take on too many enemies at once. It's just not necessary. Alright, so again, we'll bring them up. We came down to a pretty nice welcome party. Although a lot of this is probably the noise that we're making. We probably just attracted them. And we'll bring one Rhyme Drake with us. I know this is a little bit tedious, but you know, if stuff's gonna let us do this, I'm just gonna keep doing it. I don't know what hit me so hard there. Oh, Manticore. Okay, so let's go ahead and call that stair dangerous, and we'll just go down another one. Blink frogs are fine. Okay, and we're basically back to that original welcoming party, and it does look like we've cleared most of that out. So we found a scroll of identify. Let's go ahead and read these scrolls. And we've got another scroll of identify. We'll go ahead and check out these potions. Cancellation. Okay, so we can cancel a mark if we have to. Another identify. Mutation. Okay, I have a feeling we've got a pack of Death Yaks to deal with here shortly. That is a little bit scary. Go ahead and bring these back to a little hallway. There we go. Wow, that disaster area clearly used quite a bit of piety. We're back down at four pips. Okay, yeah, our clouds are just doing work on these things. Nice. Okay. What I'd really love to find is an amulet regen. I think that would be a lot better for us than reflect. We're going to end up having to sustain quite a bit of relatively minor damage, just due to the nature of Kaz. You know, we're going to be pulling a lot. The noise is going to attract a lot of attention. So if we have regen to really help us through all that, I think that's going to be a lot more helpful than reflect. But the last thing I want to do is put on, you know, an unID'd amulet and have it be harm, or have it be faith, and we end up losing piety. So that's layer 4. We will move on to layer 5. I could enchant this dire flail, but I don't really want to. Like I said, I'd really like to find a decent one-handed mace to use with a shield, though we may not get that lucky. We'll see. So it looks like Kaz is giving us shield. That's nice, because now that we're back to 6 pips of piety, we've got plus 10 shield, so that's pretty great. Let's go ahead and pull these back into an area we can work with. 53 AC when we're attacking things. That's just amazing. Okay, we're over encumbered again, so let's go ahead and drop a few things. We'll go ahead and drop that ring of dexterity. I don't expect to use that. Okay, more Oclobs, and those are not necessarily something I want to deal with unless there's something in there that I want, which is absolutely a possibility, but we'll see. Alright, we found some boots. Definitely want those. What can we drop? Probably don't need Scroll of Vulnerability, but I guess you kind of never know. We don't need Brilliance. We're really not looking to cast. And if we come across something that we do want to cast, we can always just go get that again. My brother's here, so Austin, say hi.
Hello.
I don't think I want to kill these Oclobs. They're probably guarding something interesting, but it's hard to say. And I don't necessarily... Well, I do have... Here, let's put on a resist corrosion ring. And then we're going to see what's in there. I just want to see what items are there. So if we can live for 6 turns and see if they're guarding something. Okay, so they're just guarding an entrance. So we'll have to deal with them eventually if we want to do slime, but we're not going to deal with them right now.
Good luck.
Bye, Austin.
Bye.
And that's layer 5. We'll move on to layer 6. And how are we doing? Our evocations is at 4, which gives us about a half a percent, or I'm sorry, a 50-50 chance of our invisibility working, so we'll let that get just a bit higher. Fighting's at almost 14. Okay, so I'm feeling okay right now. Curing is great if we get confused. Obviously, our we have our poise, so we hopefully won't have to use that for poison damage, but it does work on being confused, so that's really great. So we've got this little fun Spriggan vault. I actually really like this vault. I think it's pretty cool. But for this character, it shouldn't be too difficult. If we run into something particularly nasty, we do have a potion of Berserk we can use. So we're going to go ahead and come back here just to rest. Boggart. Okay, so he's going to summon nonsense, which means he really needs to die like right now. We'll go ahead and drop the Dream Sheep. So let's go ahead and upheaval on top of the Boggart. Okay, so we just deleted him. That worked out great. We'll go ahead and do that one more time. Wonderful. I feel better. I don't want him summoning a bunch of stuff that just ruins our day. Oh, there he is. Okay. What a cool statue. Thing's badass. Manual of Transmutations, don't see myself using that. Book of Debilitation, don't see myself using that. Well, actually, does Transmutations have stat form? As much as we don't need it. Oh, it's not a book, it's a manual. Never mind. I was going to say, because staff form or dragon form, etc., those could be cool. Do we have a Wand of Digging? No, we don't. So let's go ahead and drop our Wand of Ice Blast, because I think a Wand of Digging is definitely better than that. Especially for a character that has storm clouds and frozen clouds all around. Wow, I guess that those Spriggans were the treasure vault. Fantastic. Okay, so that is lair complete. I think that's a good place to stop. Have a great night.